Hello everyone, and that's a quick recap of the movie. Close range. Enjoy. Former military officer Colton McGrady entered a Mexican federal courthouse. As he passed through a metal detector, he removed his belt. The guard didn't even think to check it. It was in his belt after all that. Colton had hidden the knife with which he stabbed 2 Mexicans in the elevator. The carnage continued in the hallway. After taking out 3 more, Colton entered the room he needed. Their cartel members were enjoying themselves with call girls. The veteran interrupted the fun and, after killing a couple more amigos, showed the guard a photo of his niece. Meanwhile, the guards were informed about a madman named Gringo who was killing everyone. Helly was being held in a closet with mops. Fortunately, Colton made it in time. The girls didn't have time to do any harm. He quietly killed Victor and heard someone arrive in the elevator. He dealt with the guards with the same ease as the bandits. Colton freed Haley. A flash drive hung from a cocaine which he pocketed. Colton returned his niece to American soil and took her home. Cartel boss Fernando tasked his nephew with avenging his murdered brother. That girl, who is she? The daughter of our fixer in the Gales. Haley's father ripped off the cartel. That's why they took her hostage. But the problem wasn't planted on his stepdaughter. Gringo took a very important flash drive with him. Ignacio escaped, so he couldn't stop him. For this, the boss ordered the underling executed on the spot. A true warrior doesn't run away when his friends and loved ones are being killed. Colton brought Haley to the family ranch. Angela knew only her brother could handle this, so she called him immediately after her daughter's abduction. But there was no time to relax. The Mexican bandits would soon descend upon the area again. Fernando contacted the corrupt sheriff and ordered the arrest of O'Kelly along with his guest. Jasper received a photo of Colton and tensed up. Dealing with this man would be no easy task. 3 cars carrying the cartel's best thugs crossed the American border. Just as Angela was packing up, her husband, the main culprit in this showdown, showed up. Walt had run over his wife. He had everything under control. There was no point in calling his thug brother. The dealer was planning to take the women somewhere, but Colton wouldn't let him. Haley Angela also doesn't want to see him anymore. Goodbye, lol. We're leaving. The family threw their things into the pickup. Somehow this doesn't feel right. This is our home. She should have thought of this before messing around with that. What other options did Angela have? Her husband died and left her and her daughter with a ton of debt. She knew Walt was a scumbag, but it was the only way they could stay afloat. Colton saw 2 police cars in the distance. You can't let a killer see you. So, he hid in the guest house. Walt came out of the main house and was surprised that the sheriff was going to arrest him. After all, they had such a productive partnership all these years. Angela said she hadn't seen her brother in a long time. But no matter, Barry Gavel saved the sheriff. He's in the guest house. It's him you need, not me. Deputy Watt doesn't like what's going on here. He hid the women behind the car. Jasper ordered Colton outside, but he's not going to listen. Okay, White Logan. Go get this ass out of here. Jasper sent his men to the house, saying they were honest guys and Colton wouldn't hurt them. The veteran dealt with them in seconds and ran out into the street with a shotgun. Angela stopped Jasper from shooting him, allowing Colton to escape. Wyatt and his young partner followed the fugitive. The sheriff put Angela and her daughter in the car. Walt begs Jasper to let him go for help, but the sheriff intends to hand the idiot over to the cartel. 3 cars with dangerous Mexicans just pulled into the ranch grounds. Angela, we all have a role, whether we like it or not. Colton is still trying to lose his pursuers. Wyatt rammed his car. Logan opened fire with his shotgun and blew out a tire. Colton realized things were bad and slammed on the brakes. Wyatt crashed into him at full speed. By the time the men recovered, Colton had managed to run over the hill. Fernando got out of the car, assessed the situation, and ordered 2 men to find Colton. Walt started apologizing and blaming his wife for everything. Fernando was willing to forgive him if the dealer helped him get the flash drive back. Alt didn't even understand what was going on and promptly took a bullet to the head. But Haley, it seemed, was capable of helping the crime boss. The blonde remembered the flash drive. Colton's uncle had taken it. Two sheriff's deputies scoured the area in hopes of finding the fugitive. Soon two bandits arrived with the same intention. The veteran easily dealt with Watt again and disarmed him, but Logan had him at gunpoint from behind. Colton was ready to surrender, but then the young man with the mustache was shot by the bandits. They weren't shooting at Colton. He hurried to hide behind the trees. With "What your friends? I don't have any friends." Fernando ordered Green killed if he didn't have the flash drive. Colton hadn't even remembered he had a flash drive. He hurried away, but White slowed down and went to the afterlife after his partner. Colton responded in kind and finished off Mooch with a shotgun. However, he ran out of ammo. Luckily, Cruz didn't take advantage and quickly closed the distance. He was quite skilled in hand-to-hand combat though. "You killed my brother, yes. Now, I'm going to kill you. Let's go." Colton stabbed him several times. Cruz tried to defend himself with a belt. He even managed to knock the knife away. However, the veteran only needed his arms and legs to beat the Mexican kung fu master. He knocked Cruz to the ground and crushed his codes to his elbows. And so Fernando lost another nephew. The old fool didn't learn the lesson and sent to more bandits after Colton. The sheriff told the authority that Colton was wanted. He'd refused some order in Iraq, deserted the army, and become a mercenary. Now, he beats people up and sometimes robs them. "My brother will come back for us and kill you all." Colton was just running across open ground when two amigos came for him. He got into a shootout with one of them, which resulted in one less Mexican. Colton easily jumped over the car and was about to shoot the second, but his Kalashnikov malfunctioned, forcing him to run and jump some more. He ended up wounding Loba and learned that the captives were still okay. Loba told him about the flash drive. As usual, it contained all the information about the organization's and members. Colton learned everything he wanted, so he shot the bandit and ran back to the ranch. The sheriff was himself and was about to sever ties with the bandits forever, but Fernando started threatening his son Norancho. The guard was looking at the ranch instead of around it. So Colton easily approached him and strangled him. Fernando was informed of more casualties. He dragged Haley outside and threatened Colton that he would kill this chica if he didn't show up. The man agreed and threw his gun aside. Almost every gang member had him at gunpoint. Fernando demanded his flash drive. Gringo approached the house and allowed himself to be searched. Suddenly, he abruptly pulled out a hidden pistol and detonated a gas cylinder standing by the barn. For some reason, all the bandits had gathered outside, so Colton easily ran into the house with his sister and niece. He barricaded the door with a closet. Angela took another rifle from the wall and also began firing back. The woman was safe because the Mexicans had decided to take it out on the sideboard. Fernando, as usual, sent only two men ahead. They tried to enter the house through the back. Colton was already waiting there. The veteran blocked the door with a bookcase and ran with his family to the second floor. This barrier lasted for a couple of minutes. When the bandits entered the house, Fernando ordered a ceasefire. After all, why distract the enemy? They needed to give him the opportunity to ambush the intruders and put a bullet in their heads. Kelly dialed 911 and asked for the state police. But instead the operator contacted the corrupt sheriff. And he wasn't going to do anything, quote. "Wait, sheriff. I hear gunshots," quote. "This certainly doesn't sound like a family dispute." "Well, it looks like Jasper won't be able to get away with it alone." Kobiara wanders the house while the others chill outside. He should have been another easy target for the seasoned veteran, but he put up a decent fight. He could use a little help, but Fernando sticks to his strategy. No more than 2 fighters at a time. Ramos Pablo respond. Finally, the boss ordered all the remaining bandits to storm the house. They crawled in through every crack. Colton, firing, ran back up to the second floor. The shootout lasted for quite a while. Colton was almost out of ammo, but then the leader appeared and ordered the fighters to go to their deaths. One by one. "Hey Gringo, I just want the flash drive. You what on it that's making them so worked up? I don't know, some kind of criminal crap. Colton ordered his family to get out into the yard through the window, since there was no one outside now. Fernando decided he still had too many fighters, so he sent a couple more upstairs. The hallway consisted only of doors, and the two didn't know which one to go through. Colton wounded one of them, then pinned them both with a door. The third smart aleck knocked over his amiga and began shooting at Colton through the wall. Eventually the two of them crawled into a narrow storage room, where the fight continued. A third man intervened and stabbed Colton. The women, meanwhile, reached the garage but didn't have time to escape. Fernando had them at gunpoint. Al-Jayef ordered them outside and began choosing which of them to finish off, but the sheriff, armed with his shotgun, interrupted his plan. He hadn't forgiven Fernando for threatening his son, but that didn't mean Jasper had turned to the good side. Colton was still fighting Fernando's remaining henchmen. He finally stabbed them both, the last one in the testicle. Colton went outside and put 2 bullets into the sheriff's bulletproof vest. When Jasper regained his composure, the veteran offered him a choice between handcuffs or a shotgun. Colton stepped back and waited. The sheriff pondered for a long time, finally reaching for the shotgun. The bullet immediately tore an extra hole in his head. Colton gave Angeli the flash drive and hurried away before the police arrived.